Hi, we're Joel and Lia.
And this video is 10 differences between Canada and the UK. Let's discuss.
So we've never been to Canada.
I've been.
Oh, have
I've
you?
been twice.
Oh, you went.
But I was little.
Yeah.
I don't really have memories.
We just want to include Canada a bit more because
Yeah.
we already talk about America and the UK.
We just leave them out, don't we?
Yeah, we do. But
Yeah.
it's because there aren't many, like these articles. We're discussing an article, by the way, on Huffington Post. But people don't tend to write about the differences between Canada and the UK. It's always America and the UK. So there's loads of stuff for us to do in America.
So we're just going to tickle you a bit today.
Tease
you a little bit. And we're just going to discuss the article and say whether we think this is true or false, especially about the UK stuff.
Yeah. And if you're from Canada and you're watching, go leave like a Canada flag emoji or just be like, I'm Canadian in the comments, because we'd be really interested to see how many of you are Canadian.
Say it just like that.
I'm
Canadian.
Right, so the first one is that Canadians want you to have a nice day, whereas Brits want you to fail.
So it just goes back to the whole like positivity thing.
Yeah.
That like I know we've said it about Americans loads, and maybe Canadians are the same in that like they just genuinely want you to have a nice day.
Know.
But Brits don't really say have a nice day. Well, they might say it, but do they ever mean it?
I don't know. Obviously, it's all a huge stereotype, and Brits are nice people, but there is just that deep underlying thing where you just want someone to just fail at what they're doing. I don't know why.
It's so weird. It's like embedded in Brits.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god. It's like when you see someone like really trying to do something at the gym and you're like, just fall.
I know.
It's so bad.
About everything, and especially at the moment with politics and stuff like the Prime Minister, everyone's just hoping that she'll fail, and it's like, it's so funny.
No, I do actually feel really sorry for her.
I know.
I'm just like, imagine being you're like a cartoon character now.
I know, poor old woman.
Poor old
Literally
TM.
old woman.
Poor old woman.
She's aged years since being in that role.
That-
Her posture's gone from this to this.
It literally has, hasn't it?
Yeah, poor woman.
Open up, darling.
Open up,
have
Theresa May.
Open up, TM, and have a nice day.
Yeah, TM the PM.
The next one's about fish. Canadians eat sushi, and Brits like to deep fry their fish in batter and have fish and chips.
Yeah. I mean, is it a well-known thing then that Canadians are known for sushi?
Well, it must be. Huffington Post is saying it. They say, stroll around Vancouver and you will notice swarms of health-conscious, attractive people lining up for their nearest sushi.
Wow, I thought sushi was Japanese.
Yeah, but... Do you remember when we were in New York and certain places just like sushi everywhere?
Yeah, sushi everywhere. But to be honest, it's spread everywhere now, hasn't it? London's very sushi. We love sushi. We'd be more likely to eat sushi than fish and chips.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's just more like on-the-go food.
Yeah.
Like, we'd never be like... Let's just get fish and chips quick.
No.
That's not what
Fish
we
and
do.
chips would be like a treat where you're like, oh my gosh, I should not be eating this battered fish.
Yeah, I'm about to consume like 4,000 calories in one little tiny tray of fish and chips. So.
I also think it's generational. I think my parents and grandparents' generation would eat fish and chips.
Especially on a Friday.
Yeah. Whereas we'd be more likely to order sushi.
Oh, and we've done that. I've done delivery sushi to my house, so maybe
great.
we're a bit more Canadian.
I just hate sashimi. Anything with like raw fish or salmon.
Oh, I love salmon. Oh, nigiri.
Right, so the next one is that Canadians go out for one beer, whereas Brits will have 6 before even leaving the house. Which we've spoken about drinking before.
Isn't it? It's so true.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Like the whole like pre-drinks.
I know.
The whole British attitude towards alcohol. It's like, well, I can't possibly go out and just have one.
No.
Why would anyone do like? We would.
Yeah, because we're lightweights.
That's all it takes. But there's just so many Brits that would just be like, no, if I'm going to drink, I'm drinking to get drunk.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to have one. Why would I do that? It makes no sense.
We're probably making it worse as well by all the Prosecco. Like the amount of people, like we've said, that are just... Like, I did a video on my channel about my 3 addictions. Pepsi Max, sugar, pizza.
Yeah.
And they were like, what about Prosecco? And I was like, I'm not addicted to Prosecco. Like, I'll have Prosecco maybe like twice a month or something. But
okay.
The perception we put out there is that we drink Prosecco every single day.
Like, I get family members, my grandma, watching, saying, you need to really look at your drinking and you need to slow down and stop. And I'm like, oh, it's part of like a performance. It's like a little character thing.
It's just our thing.
It's our thing,
Yeah.
but it's not a problem.
It's not a problem.
No one needs to worry. Saying that I did have 2 glasses of Prosecco last night, but that was just for fun.
Yeah. Do you know what?
What?
Last Saturday, I went to see my friends near where my parents are from in Hampshire.
Yes.
They just moved there.
Yes.
A glass of Prosecco, guess how much?
£7.
£3.95.
Stop.
£3.95.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
So cheap. It's a minimum of like £7 in London, isn't it?
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's a minimum 7 on card, so I had to buy like 5.
I had to buy 2.
I had to buy 2. So the next one is that Canadians think that Britain is a place of magical castles and royalty, and Brits think that Canada is basically just America. So
which is
kind
of
true.
I mean, that is true because Canada, I've learned, Canada is America. That we Brits call the US America.
Yeah.
And then Mexico is something different, Canada is something different, but it's all America, apparently. So technically
But
we're right.
Isn't that offensive? Is it offensive?
No, that's true. That's the continent is America.
Oh,
or like North
so
America.
what have they got a problem with
Yeah,
that?
get over it.
Get over it. Guys, seriously.
I know.
Canadians get triggered.
They do. Do you
When
remember
they
that
get
audition?
called American.
And everyone there was American except me and Leah and a couple of Canadians. And
Yeah.
I said something like that. I was like, everyone here's American. They were like, I'm Canadian. And I was like, well, you sound American.
It was amazing. That was so funny. Oh, we haven't heard back from that, have we?
No. It's probably because we insulted the Canadians.
That's probably why we didn't get the job.
I know. But the UK definitely isn't... I mean, actually, I was going to say it definitely isn't full of castles, but it definitely is full of castles.
Oh, there's loads. We were looking at something the other day online,
Yeah,
weren't
we were going to stay in a castle.
Do some filming
literally,
there.
it's just so normal. You're just like...
Perpetuate that
castle.
idea more.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But it definitely doesn't feel magical.
No. I don't think so. There's a little bit of magic if you go to places like Edinburgh and you're like, oh, this feels quite Harry Pottery.
Yeah.
But magic. No magic really.
No, it's just the UK, isn't
the
it?
UK.
It's just rainy.
It's just rain and fish and chips.
Yeah. So the next one is that Canadians think Toronto is like really crowded, whereas when the London Olympics was here in London, we were just like, oh, it's a little bit busy.
Yeah. So when the London Olympics were on, we were like, oh, it's just a nightmare trying to walk through Westfield.
I know.
But yeah, it's chaos.
It's absolute chaos. But that's because our island is so small and we've got so many people living here that everywhere is busy. London's more busy than the rest of the country, but everywhere's busy, whereas I was going to say Canada. Whereas Canada is so spread out, so much space.
You had to remind me the other day that we're an island.
Yeah,
you
we're
just
an
went,
island.
The UK is an island.
Yeah. I was like, we live on an island.
Island life.
Island life.
And I was like, that's so true.
Yeah.
It blew my mind because I forgot that we were an island.
But that's again why I always forget to call ourselves Europe. Where I'm like, oh, we're going to Europe because we're an island. We tend to think we're separate from everything.
Yeah, I mean, we made a video on that and that also triggered loads of people.
I know, so many
that was
triggers
when we were like, we're not part of Europe really. And now look, Brexit. Huh.
Who knows? Is it going to happen?
Who knows? So the next one is that Canadians enjoy definite seasons of the year, whereas Brits enjoy a 3-day summer. And it's so true. That's so true. Like, what would we give to just know? What if someone said guaranteed every single day in June, July, sunshine?
That'd be amazing. And equally, like in winter, snow. Cold weather, snow.
If we just knew what was coming, I think we'd all be in a better place mentally.
In February, in the middle of winter, in February, we had like the most beautiful days that were over 20 degrees centigrade. Like,
that
ridiculous.
Shook me. That shook all of us.
We were all in shorts and t-shirt. We were loving life, and then we were reminded global warming. It's not a good thing.
And then the next day, like 2 days later, cold, bit of rain. Mm-hmm. That was crazy.
Yeah. Number 7 is that Canadians head to yoga whilst Brits head to the kebab house, which I don't think is true.
Oh, I don't think that's true. I mean, maybe we're a bit like in a bubble because we're in London and we're around a lot of health conscious people,
yogis,
a lot of yummy mummies, a lot of mindfulness going on in the city. But it just sort of goes back to the other point earlier about Canadians and the sushi and the health conscious thing.
Yeah, it's true. And probably the weather makes up for it because they'll have nice weather during the summer and we don't most of the time. It's quite cloudy. You just want to eat nice comfort food. You don't want to work out.
Exactly. And if you think about our attitudes towards exercise in the summer, we wake up at like, it's not a problem to wake up at 5:30 because the sun's waking you up, and then you might want to just go out and walk. if I think about, because I don't really like walking in the cold, but when it's nice and sunny, I can walk for hours and I'm happy to walk. So it just makes sense. It all comes down to the weather, guys.
So the next one is that Canadians love the royal family here in the UK, and that we Brits ironically love them. So meaning as in, like, we don't really like them, but we sort of like, we like what it comes with. We like a day off when there's a royal wedding. But I don't think that's true. I think most Brits like the royal family.
I'd say most Brits that I know really do. I think I've met like 1 or 2 people max that are like, I can't stand the royals. Yeah.
And they're usually sad, lonely people.
And we love celebrating the royals. We're like, oh my gosh, royal wedding! Like, we get so excited.
I know.
Street parties. Get all the bunting out, guys. We bloody love a party.
They're great. We love the royals.
I love them.
Yeah.
So we will disagree with the fact that we ironically love them. We just love them.
We love them with a whole heart.
What we would love to invite them over and have. I've got the Queen's birthday in the diary. I think it's June the 8th. Mm-hmm. I just like knowing. Yeah. I'm not invited, but
we want to do a collab with Meghan Markle and Harry and just sit them down and apologise for the video that we made about them.
Yeah, we really need to apologise. I think Meghan and Harry have probably seen that video.
I think they probably
Who
have.
doesn't Google their name when they're a massive celeb?
Yeah. They probably watched the video. They've watched us call Prince Harry ugly and say that we don't trust Meghan, and now we've changed our mind and we love Meghan, and Harry is a handsome chap.
I can't believe, which one of us said it? Was it me or you? Prince Harry's ugly.
I said Prince Harry's ugly, and then you agreed.
Yeah.
But when I said ugly, it was just a throwaway comment. I don't mean he's ugly. I don't think he's ugly at all. But I was just meaning he's nothing special. He's not like drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, he's not like my boyfriend.
He's not like me, for example.
He's not like you. He's no Joel Wood.
He's no Joel Wood. But
that's jokes.
I know. And then, but to be fair, we said that we didn't trust Meghan to start with. Okay. But now we do. We said that in a video.
We said in a video we don't believe her.
Yeah.
Because she's an actress, and we take that back, and we want to apologise to Meghan.
Yeah. So this is a public apology.
To Meghan Markle. Legit. So the next one's to do with currency. Apparently, Canadian dollars look like Monopoly money, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
And British pound sterling looks like
ancient scrolls.
Yeah.
Apparently. I like our money, but it's now become very like Australia's money, which it's all plastic. The notes are sort of plasticky, and you can put it in the washing machine, and it will still like work.
I love cash. I hardly ever have it.
Yeah.
Like, how often do you go to the cash point and draw out cash?
Never ever. Only old people do that.
Yeah. Because that's still their way of buying stuff.
Yeah, whereas us, we're like, no, debit card.
Yeah. Not even. I don't even like cards. I'm just on the phone.
Oh yeah, Apple Pay.
Beep,
ding,
beep,
ding, ding.
Beep. So I'm cashless and cardless. I'm just phone now.
Yeah.
That's crazy how far we've gone. But anyway, the point was about money.
Yeah.
British pound notes are apparently ridiculous.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
Well, thanks.
Thanks.
So the last one is that Canadians will say thank you as they hop off the bus, whereas Brits will get into an argument for 10 minutes with the bus driver for not letting them on because they don't have the correct cash to use the bus because they spent all of it in Wetherspoons, which is a pub.
Amazing.
Which is funny. I like that
That's
stereotype.
So funny.
I don't necessarily think it's true, but
no, I have been on a lot of buses in the UK, unfortunately, and people have said thank you to the bus driver, especially outside of London.
Yeah.
But yeah, the arguments are real.
Yeah, I think the arguments are less in London now because they're all cashless. You can't pay for cash on London buses anymore. It has to be contactless debit card or Oyster card. So
or your free pass if you're over 60, travel free, honeys.
I wonder if tourists can do that.
Well, I don't know. I know what you mean, like international or anyone who's not, because my grandma can use hers in London.
Yeah,
but she's not. I still think she's a tourist.
If you're like an American grandma, can you come and use it for free?
I wonder. Surely not.
Yeah, probably
surely not. Because then how are they making money?
Yeah, it's true.
We need your money, guys.
We need all the American tourist money. Sorry, Canadians. This is about Canadians.
We did it. We
for goodness sake.
We are the worst.
We're the worst. I meant American as in
I know.
the continent.
I know. On that note, guys, we hope you've enjoyed this video. We wanted to shed a bit of light on Canada, Canadian things, and we just wanted to show you guys some love.
Yeah, we love all of our Canadian viewers, and there aren't many of you, but we wanted to treat you to a Canadian versus UK video.
And if you're an American watching this, then just please, thanks for watching to the end of this video.
Yeah.
They really appreciate it.
Leave a nice comment about Canadians, because Americans tend to hate Canadians, and I think it's completely unfair.
Tell a story about a nice Canadian you've met.
And actually, as we've said in another video, I've never met a Canadian that I didn't like, whereas I have met Americans I don't like.
Yeah.
I think Canada is the best country.
Canada, we love you.
We love you. Anyway, guys, don't forget to click subscribe if you haven't already. We post videos thrice weekly.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I think that Canada needs to stick. Is that what you said?
Canada.
Canadian,
It's
not
because it's
Canadian.
Canadian or
Yeah.
Canada, so sometimes I get mixed up and say Canada.
Canada.
I think that's better. It sounds like an amazing country.
Canada.
So good.
Where are you going this year? Oh, we'll just be skiing in Canada.